Hello and welcome to the first episode of the 2022/23 season of ATL Falcons UK. We've got 3 out of the 4 of the main team. Number 4 is joining us in a short while. We've got Danny, Carl, and we've also got Greg over from across the pond, who is currently in isolation because of phantom COVID. So what a better way to spend being locked into a room by talking a bit of football with us. Earlier on this week, we tweeted out some discussion points that we were going to go through tonight, which we're going to talk through a couple of minutes apiece and just have a chat about the main topics ahead of what could well be a interesting season. I think it's fair to say that that not many of us have hugely high expectations. However, I'm obviously forever the optimist. I think that this season could well be a bit of fun. We could see certainly another side to Arthur Smith's offense, which is a bit more built to a mobile quarterback, and we get to see another kind of a second year of a Dean Pace defense. So, without further ado, how are we doing, gents? All right.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Excellent intro.
Stunning first time back.
That's why you get paid the big bucks usually. But no, going into the first week of the season, straight into hate week, which is you can't ask for a better start. Well, depending on the result, but it's going to be an exciting one. Either like Mark said, it's going to be an exciting season in sort of probably bad ways and good ways. I don't think everyone has high expectations, like Mark said, but it's a sort of could be like I don't think compared to even last year where people had more expectations, this year is where it's like, it's quite a thin squad of quality, I'd say, overall. You've got a new quarterback coming in who's obviously not starting at the moment, but you never know when he could be starting. Mariota could do the business for the first few games, you never know. But I think it's one of them where, because we don't have sort of any expectations really, it's probably better compared to the last couple of seasons of obviously us supporting them.
Yeah, me and Greg were briefly having a chat about this the other day, saying that a win over the Saints in both legs and then call it a day for the wins, and we'd be reasonably satisfied this season. So we can get halfway to our objectives in week 1, which is a bonus.
Yep. No, I'll be honest. I don't understand why everyone's saying we're going to be the worst team in the league. I just don't see it. Does ESPN genuinely think that the Houston Texans are better than like I know that it's very strange to me. Matt Ryan was our negative according to the media for so many years. It was he's dragging us down, he's can't do it, whatever. And the minute he's gone, we drop in the power rankings by like 10 slots. I just don't. And now he's on Indianapolis, and they look like Super Bowl contenders, according to you. I just don't get it.
And the media all suddenly magically love him again. So I think we're the common denominator there, not Matt at all. But
I think the most interesting thing for me is we kind of come in every season, and I do a lot of podcast listening, and usually never a great listen when half of these kind of guys from the media come around to Atlanta, but even the guys from around the NFL, when they did their roundup for the NFC, even they said, we are the biggest question mark, we are the biggest unknown in football. So that's not to say I think we're so unknown that we're going to do a Leicester City, and kind of go all the way with these very jigsaw bit part players. But I think there is a little bit of an enigma around us right now, because and that doesn't necessarily need to be positive or negative, but we know that we've drafted. I mean, this is the first draft in a while where I can put my hand up and say we've drafted some some really, really, genuine prospects. I think we're going to be fun to watch. That's my kind of summarization of it. And if we go out and we go 5-13, is that how many games there is now? 5 and is that right?
12, 5 and 12.
5 and 12.
If we go back and if we come in and go 5 and 12, but we look like a bit more of a functioning team, and we're taking games close, we're not blowing leads. then again, I kind of can't argue the case right now that Arthur Smith's not changing the culture around this franchise. So anyway. Let's not get too bogged down and start going off on our own tangents. So shall we start with the thread that we posted up? So maybe if we kind of take each discussion point just to save time.
Absolutely.
Danny, do you want to start us off?
Admittedly, it's kind of a little bit of out of order now. I say it out in my head because I was going to ask who we think will win the division, and really that should come last after we've discussed the Falcons.
Okay, cool.
So we'll jump there, and we'll jump the first few. So we did a little poll saying which team do you have the most faith in going into the season in terms of our offense, defense, and special team. We got 49% for offense, 17% for defense, and 35% for the special team. Any idea why the defense is only 17%, boys?
Did you watch?
The other question is, why is the special team only 35% and not 99%? Because that guy is. He's
okay, that's fair. There's a lot to unpack here.
The Detroit game was just the first 2 drives was a simultaneous wow, our offense looks okay, and wow, the defense looks the same. It was really brutal.
Yeah.
But man, watching Mariota just be willing to get his own head taken off to win it, to get a preseason touchdown. It's
commitment to the cause, at least.
I think that's one exciting with Mariota. I know it's going to the quarterback position, but we've been used to Matt Ryan, who's a legend. He's always going to be a legend there, but he's obviously a static quarterback. But Mariota can move, and Matt Ryan, he had his wheels on at times, but not all the time. But Mariota, watching him in some of them preseason games was exciting to watch. And I'm not saying he's going to be great, or even fantastic, but it's going to be a different kind of offense going into this season, what we've not seen in so many years. So that's one exciting thing straight away.
I think I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the show. Arthur Smith's offense is built for a QB who can move out the pocket, and we all know the frailty of our offensive line, and we haven't addressed it, which is kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a disappointment to me. I'm kind of glad that Mitzi seems to have taken Mayfield out of the picture and protected him a little bit from a lot of this, because we can say what you like about him. The kid was thrown in a position that he hadn't been playing in college, and I still think it's very tough on him, and I still kind of hold the hope with players like him and players like Marlon Davidson who just can't seem to click. And if that happens, look, you guys had your 5 minutes, and I'm sorry about it, but I think it's fair to say that we're excited about the offense because we've got a mobile QB that fits the system.
Yeah,
we've got a brand new number 1 receiver who is built different to the kind of receivers we've had in the past, and I still kind of think that before the year is done, whether it's God forbid, touch wood, by injury or otherwise, I think we see Desmond Ridder this year, and I don't think anybody can argue the kid looks like he's got some real attributes to grow into a I'm not, I don't want to jinx it, right? But the kid's got some attributes to potentially one day be a franchise quarterback, and I think it was in the Detroit game in preseason where he scored that touchdown late on the run. And don't get me wrong, an NFL, a starting NFL secondary probably wouldn't have allowed that touchdown to happen. But we've never seen play like that in Atlanta for how many years? Like I was almost shocked when I seen it, because I was like, holy shit, we just did that. We just did that. That's things that other teams do. No. So it was I think that's a fair point, and I think the defense, everyone could probably agree, feels a little bit defragmented. But like I say, I've kind of got faith in Dean Pease that he can at least make them function enough to get us into the sunlit uplands of no cap hell next year. I think offense is fair enough for the one to be most excited. Greg?
Yeah. My only note to that last is I really hope that Ritter doesn't have to play this year. I like him a lot. A lot, actually. I was praying for his draft before the draft even started. That was the dude I wanted. And you're right. He showed, did he show some just un-rookie-esque fortitude. To come out and throw a pick in the first play and then to turn around and go 5 for 5 and a touchdown. Rookies don't do that. I mean, they really don't. So I like him. I think long-term he can be our guy. You see the guys like Pat Mahomes sitting a year and then coming out next year and looking absolutely incredible. Lamar really didn't play until the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That's what you kind of wait for. And that's what I'm hoping for. Mariota's not supposed to be our long-term guy. He's supposed to be a bridge. Yeah. And a bridge that frankly knows the offense and can teach the offense to the young guy. So I'm hoping we don't see him until next year, but otherwise I think it's spot on. The defense has 3 players, maybe 4 who you could get really excited about. Terrell, obviously, Grady's still Grady. I would argue Michael Walker probably is getting there. And man, who was the 4th? I already lost it. Whoops.
So it's 3.
I think AK. Oh, AK. Yeah. Which, I mean, he's a rookie, so we don't know yet. But but then you look at the offense. You have the mobile quarterback. You have Kyle Pitts, who already looks like even more of an animal than he was last year. Drake London already, like you said, he's built different. He just doesn't look like the same offense.
Yeah.
Give him a year. Let Marcus play with the piecework O-line.
Yeah.
And get through it. Let's get to our $100 million that we get to spend next year, build up the offensive line, build up the defense, and let Ritter have the reins. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Couldn't really said it. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Obviously, with it being a new quarterback, he knows the system. I will know the system pretty well, pick it up quite easily. I think the O-line, I've looked at the depth chart of the O-line. There's not really much change. Obviously, Caleb McGarry's still there, which we obviously have no one else. Which was the guard that we let one go, didn't we? As it's 6th round pick. I think I mentioned this to Danny earlier.
Yeah,
in our
did.
practice squad, but I can't remember who he was.
Bear with me. Bear with me. This is really poor of us.
It's from Georgia. It was the guy from Georgia. Can't remember his name.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, but man,
obviously he's not. He's in the practice squad, but he's not performed obviously throughout to get in the 53, which is obviously a shame. But going to the center position, there's either Dalman or
Henderson. Sorry, Justin Chaffer. I've just found it about 10 minutes
later.
But no, I think it will be exciting. The first game against the Saints and just see how they perform. But the defense for me is quite exciting in a point where we have second season with Dean Pease in charge of the defense as well. There's quite a lot of new players. There's quite a lot of new players who I know everyone wants to prove themselves, but they've got to prove themselves. These are on some of these on 1-year contracts again. So it's going to be another sort of a season where they've got to prove themselves. But
I think the kind of there was a lot of names on here that kind of piqued my interest as far as the defense goes, and And I even kind of looking at the names, I'm almost kind of getting myself kind of re-excited about it because, Rashawn Evans, Lorenzo Carter, Troy Anderson, AK, who we've already mentioned, and who was the other, and Casey Hayward on the other side from AJ. So I don't know. I mean, of course, we've never had a great history with injuries, as we know, but I don't know. Again, as long as it functions and it's not too, as long as they can make the stops when they matter. I don't know. I'm kind of willing to allow it for this year. If you know.
To be fair, we did reach a Super Bowl with a very subpar defense. Now we saw how that ended, but we got there.
I don't know how it ended. I passed out just about halftime, so I don't know what you're on about.
I will be honest and say I'm pretty sure the season that year ended with the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
I remember they canceled the Super Bowl. I just don't remember why. Don't really care why.
But we're not going to talk about that one here. We go. Cal, do you want to go to the next discussion point?
Yes.
We'll have the questions and then we'll circle back to the polls at the end because they kind of follow on a bit better.
Cool. We got a bit about Deion Jones. I think we mentioned this obviously just before we came on as well. He's back on IR again. Like Greg said, I think he played 3/4 of the game and then he went off. And I don't know if we've seen any injury, but I think he's like Mark said before. Are we going to just trade him like throughout the season? Don't make any difference if we do or not really, I don't think. But like Greg said, I think if he is fit and you just have someone who can just come in if someone else does get injured, it's probably not the worst thing. But we all know he's not going to be here next year, no matter what. So
no,
I don't think it's a major point, but if you can get anything for him halfway through the season, you're gonna take it, I think.
Well, he was a big piece in Dan Quinn's defense, right? And that's cool. That's great, and again, it's I kind of can't help feeling, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like he's one of the last that when he's gone, apart from Grady, that's it.
Yeah.
And I like that. I'm not sure the way that Deion plays fits the way Pease sets his defenses up, if I'm honest. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not, but I do think like it's almost time to just go. Do you know what it is? We could like let's face it, boys. Right? If he was really worth trading, then somebody would say, "Well, we'll give you something."
Yeah, 100%.
So I can't help but feel
we've seen a steady decline for a few years, really, haven't we?
Well, yeah. And is it time to just go, okay, whatever? And if we get something, we get something. If we don't, we don't. I don't know. I've got nothing but love for the guy, but I'm so unemotional. Like Julio broke my heart, and now I'm just like, fuck him. I don't care. Let's just get through this year, see how it goes, and then kind of wave him goodbye.
He's a scheme specific linebacker. When we first drafted him, everyone was like, "You sure?" And he worked out really well for Dan Quinn's. You need to run 400 miles an hour and not know how to tackle defense, And he was the one that could tackle, and that's why it worked. But I don't know. I would be willing to put most of my bank account on the fact that Dan Quinn will sign him next year.
Yeah. 100%.
He will have his career. He will go back to DQ, and he might even look a little better. Yeah. But he doesn't fit what's going on right now, and that's okay. He's handled this well. He's not come out and said anything stupid like Julio. I mean, I've got all the love in the world from him, and I want him to do well. It was just like when Keanu left. I was hurting when we lost Keanu Neal.
Yeah.
But, and actually he didn't really do much afterwards either. But, yeah, I mean, like I don't see a point in trading him. I just don't. Like we're not going to get any cap space, and his value is underneath the arena at this point. It just doesn't make sense. So I say that's a really high caliber backup for a year.
I think this takes us on to the next question, where is like, where do the Falcons lack depth? And I think linebacker is one where they slightly do, and I think that's why they probably have kept him in, because he knows he's a true professional. Like he said, he's not came out and said anything like other players have said in the past. And I think if he is fit, he'll play at times, but he'll also help the younger guys. I think I don't think he's a bad attitude guy. I think he will help the younger guys, etc., which is what you sort of want in the team as well.
I'd love to put him into just pass rush situations and let him run. He's fast. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not a 3-down linebacker, but I know he can rush the passer. And, he still has one of the most iconic plays of the last 5 years with that pick off of Drew Brees in the end zone. Like he's an athlete. So maybe they'll find a way to use him. I don't know.
Well, based on the comments, I'll just scan through a couple of them. We've got gets traded to the Cowboys, gets traded, goes to the Cowboys and becomes a Pro Bowler. Is one of those probably a little bit ambitious? But
is one of those comments from Dan Quinn by any chance?
Exactly. So I think everybody's got a similar gist. There's also a couple that say along the lines of he'll play a bit part role this season and then he'll leave next off season, which is the more logical move probably and the more realistic. But I'd never rule out him moving this season just in the off chance that somebody does come along with a 6th round pick. I have no idea. Nothing. There's nothing there, is there? So.
And I think
for a second, Matt went for a 3rd. I doubt you're getting anything better for a linebacker no one wants.
No way.
I think it's like, to go to Carl's question. I think I think we can kind of blanket this one really, really easily. We lack depth everywhere.
All of it.
I'm
pretty sure we don't even have another kicker.
No, probably not.
It's fine.
And but I suppose at the end of the day, like stuff like kickers and stuff, like okay,
get in and out them easy.
I don't know. Like, again, if you're gonna patchwork this season and just go right, okay, look, let's just see how it goes. Kickers are replaceable. I know Ku's amazing, and he is, and I'm glad that he's staying with the franchise. But if you're playing fantasy football, right, you don't take your kicker until you've taken all the good running backs and all that sort of stuff. Like it's just one of those things. I think that one of the best things I've seen especially this week is signing Tonga from free agency. Really, really bullish nose tackle. I think that's good backup for what we need. Again, it kind of it fills a hole. It's not great depth, but I don't think this is the season to really worry about that, to be honest. We've been watching for 2 years while Terry plugs holes in the ship. Next year we get a new ship. So I think it's fair to say,
Okay. In that case, we'll swoop by the next question because it makes perfect sense. It's going to be short and sweet. Where do we have enough depth? So nowhere. Is that where we're going with this?
Quarterback. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, we only have 2 quarterbacks now because if I'm not wrong, Franks is listed as a tight end now.
Tight end, yeah.
He is.
A tight end as well.
Arthur Smith wants a Taysom Hill type player so bad he can't see straight.
Yeah,
that's all that
the delusion has taken over. He's tunnel vision on it.
Honestly, I would argue. I know that other people have gone against it. I don't feel bad about our tight end room. You've got Pitts who looks good. You've got a blocker or 2 at this point. You've got Franks. Like, are we going to be happy about that? I don't know, but like he's there. I'm not mad at that. The wide receiver room looks a hell of a lot better than it did when we got the news that Calvin Ridley was going to be put out for a year.
Yeah.
So it's not. I think Mark's right. I think we worry about depth when we have starters we want to keep on. And we go on from there. But I don't know. Right now, my answer is quarterback. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna hit you with potentially what you might class as a hot take. I'm really, really not sure. But I actually think for once, and I think the jury's still out. But let's just put this down to one of my optimistic takes, right? I actually really don't hate our running back room.
Okay.
I think you're gonna. One thing we have to remember with the wide receivers is you're still going to see Cordarrelle Patterson being used across the field.
Yeah.
I've really liked what I've seen from Algier in preseason. I think the kid's got an absolutely terrifying amount of power. And as somebody who started playing O-line this year, if that man was running at me, I would point him in the direction of the end zone and, like a matador, just step out of the way, because he's a big dude. So I like it. I think bringing Williams on board was a really smart move as well, because I think he's quick and he's quite dynamic. So I think we've kind of got all bases covered. And then, as Avery Williams listed as a running back as well. I mean, whether you're going to see him in many down situations, I don't know. But I don't hate the running back room. I don't. It's not bad to be in, because do you remember when we sat here, boys, not a year or two ago, and our offensive coordinator didn't run the fucking ball?
No. True.
So,
very true.
And we know that Arthur Smith likes to run the ball, and we're set up in a bit of a better system to do so. So I actually like it. I think there's depth there. I think it's good enough to get us through the season. I want Cordarrelle Patterson to retire as a Falcon. I want him to come to my house and meet my children. I think he's an absolute fucking amazing dude. So yeah, that's my take on where we have depth.
Why in the hell did we sign Todd Gurley with an OC that didn't want to run the ball?
Because we're the Falcons is the short answer.
It just hit me. I was like, were they even talking?
Todd Gurley's performance since doesn't really suggest that he would have been that much use anyway.
He looked really good in the first 6 games. He was leading in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Then he fell apart. I get that. But why would you go out and sign like a big name, even even a more worn down running back, if you were just planning on throwing the ball 150 times?
Well, it was Dan Quinn nostalgia, wasn't it? He was like, oh, he's a Georgia boy. He'll get everybody on side. We'll sell loads of fucking jerseys, and we just got fucking hoodwinked on that deal, if I'm honest. And we all know, the Rams didn't need to let a running back of his caliber go, but yet they did for a pittance. And really, we were all excited. But we probably should have known the writing was on the wall.
Probably.
Yep.
Just because Liam has now jumped into the party, we were having a very brief conversation, Liam, about where we actually think we have got depth this season, which is obviously few and far between. But have you got?
Don't laugh! You've only just turned up.
But yeah, we got as far as quarterback, and then we kind of just lost track a little bit. So, have you got anywhere that you are satisfied with? The face is telling me no.
How far down do we have to go to class its depth?
I mean,
2 people.
Clint Dickens, but 2.
1 backup.
Yeah, corner then. Corner's probably about where I'm at with that. I think we've got 2 good quality corners.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're pushing it at a third. But if I can class 2 as depth, then I'm going corner. Yeah. I'm not too running back. I'm not too concerned about. I think there's going to be 3 pretty serviceable running backs that can do a job. Wide receiver is a bit of I'm not quite sure what we're going to get sort of set up. I mean, obviously I think Drake Wonder will be good if he's healthy and ready to go and everything. I think Brian Edwards has got quite a lot to offer. He's not really been given a huge chance, has he really? Then I'm not really sort of, I can't say I was exactly excited by anybody else, but I mean, Bird's got, quite a lot of speed, but he's not really done a whole lot, has he? But
No.
I think we could be surprised by one or two others in that department. I'm not massively worried about it. Mainly as well, obviously, because we've got Pitts who basically can do both.
All of it.
Obviously, yes, he's listed as a tight end, but we all know that he's got receiver ability. So I'm not massively worried about it as a position group. I won't say it's a sterling position group, but I'm certainly not worried about it. We've definitely got better depth there than some other teams have in the league, 100%. Probably even in our division, to be honest. But yeah, obviously there are some other areas where we know we need to improve. But I think we've got some young players in there which maybe haven't performed really well yet. But that doesn't mean some players do just take that step up after one or two sort of seasons growing into it, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. Is players maybe take a bit of a large step up, like McGarry, for example. I'm not going to say he's going to do that, but he has to. This is his time now. He has to take a step up. It's kind of now or never, isn't it? Like Hennessy, if he's going to start, he's got to show some kind of step up.
I know we can't read much into the depth chart, but it looks like Dahlman's won that race.
Both of those guys are going to play this year.
100%.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to just start Dahlman. Although I kind of wish they would, because cohesion in the offensive line is incredibly important, and this chairs bullshit they like to play is not going to cut it.
No,
you need a center that's going to command that line, and Alex Mack did it for so many years, and I think I've kind of gained a bit more of an appreciation of how important a strong communicative center is to the trenches on that side of the ball. And I don't know, I can put up with it because we've got two mobile quarterbacks. I think if we were putting Matt in front of that line again, then it's fucking all she wrote on his kneecaps and probably anything fucking below his waist. But at the same time, I'm not happy with it, but I don't know when have we been happy with the O-line? So I feel a bit more confident we can get ourselves out of sticky situations.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if anyone's got the depth chart up or has decent reflection, but is there any shocks to anyone's? I know it's only a depth chart and it's variable, but nothing standing out to anyone that they didn't expect. I know it's pretty predictable because we're so shallow in quality. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think there's that many surprises. I suppose Agundeji being the starter above AK is a slight surprise. I think given Michael Walker the starter is exactly what he needs. So I'm not surprised by it. I was surprised when he wasn't last year. So I guess they're kind of the only two that scream out to me. The only other one after kind of all the talk about what's it, Mayfield is obviously Elijah Wilkinson's won that battle. I think that's probably a good thing, if not for the team, but for him. McGarry at right tackle being the starter and keeping out Ifedi. I don't know. It's kind of like he's been given the starter's job to go, look, you're either going to have to ball out or we're going to replace you with somebody who's probably slightly more competent.
It's not set in stone. That dude's not got a locked-in starting position.
Yeah.
I think depth charts are kind of almost just worth it, or just worth the pit.
Yeah, they are.
They tell you who the starting quarterback is. I mean, really, everybody else can rotate out at any time.
If we looked at this depth chart and Pitts was second on the depth chart, nobody would bat an eyelid because they'd be like, "Well, you're playing him." So
yeah, he's playing every single snap.
I mean, I think the Saints have Chris Olave listed as like their number 5 receiver right now, and I'm like, you really don't think that kid's going to be on the field like play 1 on Sunday? Like, no,
Yeah,
it
100%.
is what it is.
So just in regards to kind of keeping this going, we've obviously we've spoken about quarterback a bit, and we obviously know now Marcus is getting the start. I really kind of want to have a quick chat about how we all feel about that. Personally, I've got a few friends who are Raiders fans. They all rated him every time he put on a Raiders uniform. They said he was perfectly competent. Gets on the move when he needs to. He's a pretty precise passer. Again, I think it kind of fits Arthur's scheme. He knows Arthur's scheme. It gives him a chance to kind of get his career back on track. I don't for one second think he is trying to win a longer contract in Atlanta. It doesn't really feel like that. It doesn't really feel like that's Arthur and Terry's aim with this.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think, Liam?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worth what we're sort of paying him and what we're trying to do with him. I think it's going to be about how we use him and just playing to his strengths. I mean, he's not got the quarterback IQ that some other guys have. Like, I don't think he's a genius out there who's going to, can make the sort of the second, third reads very easily. Sometimes he does panic and either runs or just throws a bit of a wobbler. But if you sort of keep it relatively simple, not like college quarterback simple, because obviously we've got to go a bit more complex than that now, but we keep it relatively simple for an NFL quarterback. He will deliver what we need him to deliver. Like, he can throw an accurate pass. He can obviously use his legs. Just don't try and turn him into, with obviously, with Ryan, what we've had over the years is his IQ is up there with the best of them. Mariota's not really got that in his locker, I don't think. But what obviously he makes up for that with his physical elements and what he can do with his legs and what he's got. He's got a good arm as well. I mean, when you watch.
I mean,
he can play.
I think people are forgetting. Before the Titans were anything, this man took them to the playoffs, fresh out of the duck.
Yeah.
So and before anybody fucking clips this or fucking roast the shit out of me, I'm not saying he's going to do that. What I'm saying is that he's got previous for, he's not just an Anthony Dalton. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got form. The Titans shat on him because of his injury record. Let's face it. That's fine. That's not a problem. I mean, I think I would say that the Titans look horrific this season, in my personal opinion, because they've traded everybody. So just another one that's going to be below us in that worst 32. But I think Liam's right. But I would kind of keep throwing that in there that he's not an inexperienced quarterback, and he did take a pretty shit Tennessee team to the playoffs. Whether we want to argue that point or not.
Yeah.
Liam, bring your camera down a little bit. I can only see half your face. There you go.
Yeah. It's, not on the usual setup. I've had to rush in.
Greg,
Disorganized.
I'll say this: the guy won a Heisman in 2014. He's got credentials. He's one of the only quarterbacks I've seen to throw a touchdown pass to himself.
You've taken my only point, Greg.
No, I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't think we signed him to be, the next anything. I think we signed him because we fucked up the situation with Matt. We chased somebody we shouldn't have chased. And I argue that no one should have chased him, but that's just a me thing. And you had to get somebody. And there is a handpicked, he's been in my system guy. We can do something with him. the Ritter pick was so low key, honestly. Like, it happened and then everyone was excited and then it was kind of just quiet, a third round pick. I think the bigger reason why it was so huge is because he was the second quarterback taken. Only Kenny Pickett went in first round. And I think,
which is fucking crazy, by the way.
Criminal.
Dude, if I was going to if I was that choice, like, why? Like, I get there was a little bit of tension between, are you going to take Malik or are you going to take Desmond? I understand that. Malik had a killer combine. Dude is a physical specimen. I understand that. My argument is he played at Liberty. Like, I'm just saying, you don't play anybody at Liberty. At least Desmond got to the playoffs in college. At least he got to play, against some legitimate talent, even if he got run out of the building by Bama. But like he still played him.
Yeah.
It's still experience. I think this coaching staff likes him a hell of a lot more than they're letting on. Arthur Smith does not come down on a guy on the sidelines in a preseason game that he doesn't give a damn about. And he was chasing Desmond across that field several times. I don't know. Like I said, I'm totally fine with Marcus this year. Honestly, I would love to see them switch roles next year and kind of pull a Trey Lance Jimmy and just let the new guy come in and let Marcus be there. Matt Schaub was invaluable to Matt Ryan for years in a very similar role. So I think they did a very savvy, very underrated quarterback move this offseason.
Cal?
No, yeah, I agree. I think it's 100% the right decision to start him. Ridder shouldn't be starting for several weeks, even all the season. You got an O-line in front of you that are hit and miss all the time. Why would you want to put a rookie straight in
the rookie?
Yeah.
It's just criminal. But Mariota knows what he's doing. He's a true professional. He's quick on his feet. And I think, like you said, he's here for a year, or is it a 2-year deal? So he's here for 2 years, at least we can see. If he performs all year and he does well, you never know what can happen. But it's going to be an exciting season watching him. So I'm quite excited to watch him every game, to be fair, and especially this weekend against them lot. First game against them lot. So no, I think it's 100%. I don't think anyone can be like, why is he starting?
Danny, I'm gonna pose a question.
Oh Lord.
So just say, for example, right, we get to game 6, game 7.
Okay.
It's been a fucking disaster.
Are we talking 0? Are we talking 0?
Well, no, I'm not going to put numbers to it. You can figure out what you consider a disaster.
Okay.
It's been a fucking disaster for the first 7 or 8 games, right?
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota can't hit a camel's arse with a banjo, right? So, do we just go at that point? Fuck it. Put Ridder in. Or do we just go? No, we'll just see how much.
My heart says give the lad a chance, but my head says suicide mission, because our performances realistically wouldn't be purely based on his incompetence at quarterback, I'd hope. So throwing Ridder in there is probably just going to destroy him, because coming in for, say, 10 games into a losing team, everyone around them is just going to be breathing negativity. So I'd probably try and keep him tight for as long as possible, if I'm completely honest. Unless we're talking terrible, as in like 2 wins in 7 or something, then I'd consider it a little bit more. I'd be more concerned about the performance of the O-line and the rest of the team at that point, as opposed to just the quarterback. Because a 1-for-1 quarterback swap's not going to change anything this early on.
No. But, well, I don't know. Okay.
Is it bad that my heart jumped a little bit when you said 2 out of the first 7 wins? And I'm thinking back to Dan Quinn going, God, I would have killed for 2 wins in the first.
Remember when you used to come on here and people used to say Raheem Morris was a good head coach? Yeah.
Remember those days.
like now when you get like a lot of older fans, like especially like I get a lot on Twitter, talk to older fans and UK I've supported for X amount of years, and they go, I was here in fucking 55 when the QB was a chicken or fucking whatever, that sort of shit. And I always I see myself in like 20 to 30 years time being that prick who goes, I was here when people told me Raheem Morris was a head coach.
It suits you, mate. It suits you.
Fucking ludicrous. Right. Okay, cool. Anything else on the QB then, boys? I think
I was just going to say, just before we jump on, I was going to have a quick scroll through the comments and just get some followers' takes to see how everyone's faces react to them all. So I've not read them all in advance, so I'm just going to read them out and see if they're worth it. To be fair, there's a handful saying Mariota starts as QB1, but Ridder comes in halfway through the season, which is a pretty popular shout, to be fair. Not sold on it myself, but we'll see. A few saying Mariota as a starter, but on a really short leash. I don't know if the competition's that heavy. I don't think it's a walk-on spot for him. Maybe any other year a first-round pick that was of a higher caliber. Maybe.
I think if Mariota's proper fucking garbage, then yeah. Do you know
he's thrown the first 6 games and he's thrown 15 picks.
Yeah. If he's like Jameis Winston, for example, some useless prick like that, then fair enough. But I don't know. If Marcus isn't doing it, then fuck it, just chuck him in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think what we have got to consider is Mariota's got, has had a few injury issues. They might come back to we haven't got a choice.
That I think is
we put Franks in for a couple of games.
Is Jamie himself at tight end as well, or is he staying at quarterback?
Throws it to himself. Tell you what, just go to a press conference and tell Arthur Smith that Franks is a worthless piece of shit, and he will start the next 6 games.
We'll drop Miles a message tonight, and then when we go to the next interview, we'll get him to call it out and see what happens. But yeah, general consensus is that Mariota is a starter, and Ridder will probably get some snaps here and there. There's a few suggestions that he'll come in the last few weeks of the season because anything's possible. Realistically, we're probably not going to be playing for much. So
if we're ahead in games and shit, fucking throw Ridder on. Why not? Because and I think not that I expect we'll be way ahead in many games, but in that eventuality, then let's plug him in because he needs to learn these lessons, and I think kind of going back to an earlier point with Greg, it's quite obvious how much that this front office rated, and it's I think we're being sensible, which fucking boggles my mind because it's just not something that we're used to. So
give it time. The season hasn't started yet.
That'll do for me.
No, I think Liam's point was right, though. I think the most realistic reason that Ridder starts this year before it's garbage time and doesn't matter anymore, and I mean that from season-wise, too. If we miss the playoffs and there's 2 games left, let the kid start. I get it. But, Mariota getting hurt, on the other hand, is a very real possibility.
Yeah.
And that's when, like I said, we saw Trevor Lawrence get the shit kicked out of him last year. And he was one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college. They were rating him with John Elway, for God's sakes.
But I'm gonna bat one back at you though, right? We also seen another quarterback get the shit kicked out of him last year.
Yeah,
this kid called Joe Burrow.
2 years ago. Yeah. Whenever he blew his ACL out. Yeah.
Well, no, but last year he was the third most sacked quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of one of them is you didn't look at that Bengals team and go, oh, their offensive line is so bad. Everyone was just like, holy shit, D Higgins and Jamar Chase and all them. They were fantastic. So it's I questioned like a fucking idiot Burrow's ceiling when he came out of LSU because he was part of an amazingly good LSU team.
Everyone did. That doesn't make you an idiot. We were all like looking at LSU going, he had one really, really, really good year going on,
Yeah. So I suppose why I wanted to back at you is we seen Trevor get the shit kicked out of him, but we also seen Joe Burrow get the shit kicked out of him and go to Super Bowl. So
sure. What I meant mainly on that front was when you put rookies out there before they're ready. Things happen that aren't necessarily fun to watch. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, you had to start him. Also with Urban Meyer's bullshit, like you had to have a reason to make people want to come to the stadium. Yeah. But he was not in a situation that was going to make him okay. No. And I think, if I remember correctly, Peyton Manning went 3-13 in his first year, and then turned around and went 13-3 the next year. So there's no I know I'm going against my own point. There's no science to it. I've seen recent trends of, like I said, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You give them time to sit. Jordan Love, God knows, man, he might be a freaking Pro Bowler by the time they finally let that kid play. But I don't want to see anything like knock this kid out early because he looks like he's going to be something else.
Yeah.
Danny, do you mind if I just really quickly jump in because I've got a blitz in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you all, away from season predictions and all this, what we saying on Sunday, boys?
Score-wise.
Let's remember this is for the clips as well. So I'm going Falcons win. I'm going not comfortable, but I'm going Falcons win. We're not great. We've not got depth, but they're not great. They're not.
Neither are they.
How were they like 6th or 7th or whatever it was? Why does everyone think they're going to be class?
I think. I think there is. I wasn't surprised to see the poll vote that everyone, 60% said the Bucs. I'm not surprised by that. I think the Bucs are mediocre this season. Brady sounds like he is starting to lose his mind in press conferences. He's lost 2 massive parts of his O-line. He's got a new head coach. And
basically looks weird. Like,
something
happened. I don't know what happened. He was gone for 2 weeks. He came back looking dehydrated.
We all know what happened, Greg. We all know what happened. The motherfuckers had work done. Do you know what I mean? and listen, so he's going to have a brand new face. He's got no Gronk, and new head coach. I think the Bucs are mediocre. I think, but then again, I understand Falcons fans just voting for the fucking Bucs because they don't have it in them to vote for the Saints. I don't fucking either. But what I will say, and I'm really, really interested on your takes, is I do think we win on Sunday. I think the no Sean Payton is a massive thing, right? I fucking hate the guy, but it's like Belichick, isn't it? The geezer knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? And we can't deny that. But I think, you've got this cloud looming over of, what's happening with Kamara. I don't think he gets a ban this year. I think it's more likely that he gets a suspension next year for his fuckery or whatever he's been doing. Yes, Lee, very jealous. Yeah.
There's somebody else that just got in trouble for one of their defensive backs, I think, got charged with aggravated assault with a firearm or some shit like that.
Well, I don't know, but none of us are fucking surprised, are we?
These are not surprised. I don't understand why they keep being built up in the media as the Saints.
They've just lost arguably their best cornerback for a pittance. I don't even understand that trade. They've still got Jameis at QB, and rookie receiver. I think is Jarvis Landry there now. And you've got, of course, Michael Thomas, who, absolutely. So, I don't know. I don't see it. I think that we kind of come into this, like I said earlier on the show, as the unknowns. I think we are in a much better position to surprise some people. And I hope Arthur understands what hate week and what this game means to us. So I'd like to think that he would, at least go fucking balls to the wall. I'm going to West Ham away on Sunday during the day, so I'm going to be obliterated by the time I get back for the game. Nice. So yeah, I'm gonna say 32-18.
Okay, all guns blazing in the first game, but I'll take that.
In the first game. All right.
Nice. Just in case you do shoot, Mark, how many wins you going for this season? Early prediction, admittedly, but how many wins? What you benchmarking?
8 and 9.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the only one out of us that does this every year, and then you all go and like eventually get right answers. So, like I've got to be right sometime. Yeah, fuck it. No, 8 and 9. I think we're going to surprise some people. I think we're going to take some games close, and I think we're going to see fun.
Okay, I'll take that. We may as well whip around and get everybody's wins then. Estimated everyone. Liam, go on. What you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's probably the same as Mark. I think that's kind of where we're at. I don't think some people are obviously giving us absolutely nothing, which is I think unrealistic. And some people are giving us maybe going a little bit too far the other way with a bit of blind confidence. But yeah, probably similar to Mark. And I'd be okay with that. Like I think wouldn't be a bad season at all.
With this schedule that we've got this year. No, I think that's it's bold, but I think with what we've got, and I used to.
Yeah. Just whilst we're on the people over predicting, we had about 20 votes for 12 or more wins. So whoever those 20 people are, please seek help because it's not happening.
It is way too early in the day to start drinking.
That's great.
Well, to be fair, it's 3:00 for me, so
yeah, you're not too bad, mate.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I can't go anywhere.
Greg, what are you shooting for wins?
Oh God,
call it a day.
My hottest take that I have is that we will finally see a winning record in week 1 for the first time in forever. So I'll say we'll start 1-0 by God, and that's a start. But to be honest with you, I think that this team will be more fun to watch. I think that we'll be more competitive. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be more wins than last year, which is we were 7-10. I think it's going to be somewhere around the 5-win mark. Okay. We are not going to be the worst team in the fucking league.
I agree with that. There is no way we come bottom of any kind of rankings by the end of the season. There's no way.
Clip it.
Yeah, definitely clipping that. We're all just minding our business, and then but yeah, I mean, about 50% of the votes went between 5 and 7 wins. So I think that 5's probably a little bit harsh. Possibly, I'm leaning more towards a 7 personally, about 7 and 10 again. But
chaps, I've got to jump. Sorry, catch you all later,
mate.
Talk to you next week when we're fucking 1-0, baby.
Yeah, is it Gardner Johnson who's been traded? Is he gone from States now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank God.
No, you're right. I mean,
he
5 wins
is palpitations. That man, I hate him so much.
5 wins is harsh. I give you that. It's more about the fact that I think I read a stat that we won at an astronomical rate when it was within 7 points of a final score.
Yeah.
And, there's going to be a little bit of regression to mean. Also, we had a very weak schedule compared to what we're walking into this year. It's just a harder year, and I'm thinking all that matters this year is just continuing to see those schemes improve. Seeing Dean Pease fully roll out a playbook, seeing Arthur Smith's scheme really start to click with these guys. Then you have $100 million to spend next year, and let's go at it. But, It's going to be
our preseason shows next year are going to be wild.
That or Font's going to be sitting on 75 million, refusing to spend a damn dime. We're going to roll out Eric Harris again.
I think it's going to be. I'd go with like 5 and 7 wins as well. But I think the performances are the main thing for this year. Like, we're obviously going to win games, we want to lose games, but it's performing well in even the games we're losing. Thinking, well, at least if you're not. Oh, Napoli just scored. Sorry. If you're gonna lose games, that's fine. We've lost games, but just lose it in a normal manner. That's what we asked for last year, and we didn't blow many leads last year, if any, I think. But it's more like the Pats game where we just got battered. I don't think we scored a point in it. It was games like that where you're thinking they just rolled us over. But if you're in games and it's quite entertaining and you can see where the youngsters are coming up and the rookies are coming up, I think that's all we can ask for this season. And 6-7 wins and being entertaining, seeing a different kind of quarterback as well. That's the thing that's exciting me, to be fair. But anything 5-7 wins, good performances throughout, and seeing players improve, that'll do for me.
Yeah,
and 2 wins against the Saints.
Yeah, well, yeah, win against the Saints. Lee's comment summarizes it pretty well, but it's about what we say every season. If you're even remotely in with a playoff shout as you draw close, you feel like you've had a reasonable season because you're not 5 weeks in and thinking, we've got 5 losses, so it's season over already. So I'd like that. Just keep competitive.
To be fair, we were playing meaningful games in December last year.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, like, I think it's all spot on. I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward to a possibility of us coming out and just kicking the living shit out of the Saints on Sunday and watching all those power rankings just go up from 32 to 31 because they still hate us. But it's But
no, I think
it'll be interesting.
It will.
I think Kamara. I think Kamara is going to be the key on Sunday. Presumably he's playing. What we do with him is going to be the key.
Have they still not made a decision on his ban?
I don't think it's official, but as far as we're concerned, the likelihood is he may still get a ban, but it won't be this year. It's likely going to be next year if he actually gets put through.
Is he in court for anything right now, and it's just having to last out? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think they've got. There's not enough. They've not. I think they had to. I can't even remember if they set a court date and then they had to push it back, or they haven't even set one. But it's going to get pushed back to next year if he does get one. So he's the guy. Like, if anyone's going to take over the game for the Saints and be their sort of X factor and run us over, it's him. If we can manage him, we've got a very good chance of beating him.
Which Jameis looked phenomenal when they played Green Bay in Week 1 last year. It was wild.
He can't he? He's got every tool that the quarterback needs, apart from just consistency, really.
And he can see now, which helps.
That does help with the quarterback, as it should have.
I didn't realize he just straight up had terrible vision in his first so many years in the NFL.
It makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it, when you think about it?
30 picks, 30 touchdowns, jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, if we beat them, that just sets the tone for the rest of the season. I think it gives us a real chance of.
You're walking in with some confidence instead of the unknown that we're currently got based around us. Half of the players don't even know who each other are. So
no, but I think it's going to be interesting. We've got a lot of new players to watch. A few different so we've got to basically watch. You're not going to design your offense in the same way for Mariota as you are for Ryan. We know that off the bat. So we're going to get to watch something different that we've not watched in a long time. I'm looking forward to that element of it. I think, we've got things like the safety group that I have no idea what they're going to do, or they could be absolutely terrible. They could both really shine. But I don't think going into a season where there's a lot of unknowns I won't say that's necessarily a bad thing. If we don't do very well and we don't miss the playoffs, then everyone will just say, that's kind of what we expected. But if we do really well or get near the playoffs or even get in them, everyone will have a great time. So I think, it's a bit of there's low expectation. Well, there's low expectation until the season starts, and obviously everyone starts saying when we beat the Saints, we're going to the Super Bowl. We all know that's coming.
Because we are.
Yeah, we definitely are. So I'm looking forward to it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think it's a relief. That's why. I think usually we hold ourselves to a certain standard that we know isn't really that plausible unless everybody performs to perfection. Whereas this year, anything is a bonus. Like we've said 10 times over, just improve play style and a little bit of confidence in ourselves, and I'd be pretty satisfied.
Yeah, everyone knows we've got 100 million coming up next year. Hopefully, you build on this. The draft picks this year perform well and are part of the future. You got a few other players that should be part of the future. Then you got players that are here for a year or so, and hopefully that 100 mil we spend it wisely.
Yeah, I think
until then, let's just enjoy the season.
A real good thing for what I like about this season really is, we're thinking that Ridder's going to potentially take over next season, and Mariota's kind of maybe like a one season sort of guy. The positive for me is that Ridder was, the guy he got compared to coming out of college was pretty much Mariota. Like that's the kind of the thing that they were comparing him to. So we've got a season now with Mariota to get sort of a play style together, get a little bit of it, get the rest of the players used to a mobile quarterback. And then, if Ridder comes in next season, even though it's a different quarterback, we're bringing in somebody who's very similar. And we've already we've already adapted in a way to that sort of style. Like we're not exactly, we're not putting in a pocket passer this year who's going to do nothing movement wise and then throw in a movement guy next year. We're bringing in a very similar sort of style of quarterback, which I think might help the transition a little bit. It feels like we're starting again. So I think that's a good positive for us in terms of the quarterback group.
No, I agree. And I don't think Mariota's under any illusion of why he's been brought in. I think realistically he knows he could, in theory, be playing for one season and then that could be him unless he really shows himself. So it's all, the impetus is on him to perform to whatever our standard is supposed to be this season.
Yeah. I mean, either way, even if he comes in thinking like, he might have even been told, he could have been told like, you're not going to, at the end of the season, you're very unlikely to, we bought rid of him for a reason, you're very unlikely to be here. That doesn't, people will say, well, why would he even bother? But obviously, you're not just playing to play for the Falcons. If he plays really well for us next season, we still go with Ridder. The likelihood is someone on another team has seen that and gone, he's worth a shot. We'll bring him in. So he's playing for his future and career, regardless of who he's actually playing for. So he's going to give it everything in that sense, even if he knows it's not with us.
Yeah. Just before we wrap up the show, boys, because it is meant to be an end of pre-season show, I'd like everyone to rank the division come the end of the season, 1st to 4th, starting with Cal, if that's all right. Get it out of the road, mate. 1st to 4th.
I'm gonna have to go with the Bucks first. I think they'll still be the best team in the division. I don't think they'll have a record like last year. Oh fuck. Well, I'll just skip 2, and then we'll be 3rd, and then Panthers 4th.
Oh, okay. So nobody comes second.
Do you think the Panthers? I think they, because he spent I don't know what their draft. I don't know even who they drafted. I didn't pay attention to theirs. But
he got crocked, didn't he? Their quarterbacks. They weren't
going to start him anyway.
They drafted Corral, didn't they? Matt Corral.
He did. He's hurt for the season.
He's out for the season anyway. He wasn't going to start, but he's out for the season anyway. So
I think they might be a bit like their fans might be. I don't know. Obviously, Greg lives. He might know a bit more. But
right here.
But I mean, they might be a bit like us, where they're thinking if they get 6-7 wins, it's sort of progress. But I don't know.
No, Panthers fans are just as delusional as Saints fans. These guys are going off thinking they're going to make the playoffs around me, and it's wild. Even with Baker Mayfield.
Based on that information, then where would you place them in the division? Well, where would you place the whole division? But
okay, well, I think the Panthers season bar none, relies on McCaffrey being healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if he
definitely.
goes down in week 1 or 2, they're the bottom of the division by a mile.
Okay.
They just Baker Mayfield's great, like for what he is, but I don't think he's like a savior, and I don't think anybody can save the Panthers. Matt Rule needs to get fired. That's the bigger thing at this point. He's not a good coach. Maybe he's good in college. He's not a good pro coach. That said, I think the Panthers are bottom because I don't think McCaffrey's holding up. I really think that we could finish above the Saints.
Yeah.
I think Lee's is my general vote.
Yeah, I'd say
I don't,
so as well.
and honestly, like that cliff is coming to Brady at some point.
One day he's going to go like that, and the ball's just going to drop, and that's his throwing.
And his arm will go farther than the ball.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the cliff's coming, and I think Todd Bowles is a fantastic coach. He made that defense look incredible. But I don't think they're this like top 3 team that everyone continues to think they are. They have locker room cancer and Julio Jones with them now. Like I'm sorry, like they went that far. Let's put it to you this way: Brady came back after stealing our wide receiver room.
Yeah,
he went and took Julio and Russell Gage. So if that's where your brain goes, are you really that well off? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this division's way more up for grabs than we think, but I don't think it's because there are so many good teams. I think the teams are worse than people are actually giving us credit for. So, yeah, Bucks take it because you got to say it until they don't, and then I think we finish above the Saints.
Go on, Liam. I mean, probably going to mirror. I think we're all similar thinking, but
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw a little bit of a wild card in, but so I'm gonna say I think the Bucks win it. I think. Then I'm gonna say the Panthers come second.
Ooh.
Because Christian McCaffrey stays healthy.
All right.
Okay.
I think Baker's obviously got to perform. That's the key. Obviously, he's obviously a bit dodgy, but he's got ability. The watching out in, who I think, given the chance, is a decent wide receiver. And they got more. I like both the tight ends.
Yeah.
They've got Chuba, whatever he's called, Chuba Hubbard, who's rapid. Yeah. I think they've got a pretty good young defense. I think they're very good. They could well easily be at the bottom, but I think if everyone stays healthy and everyone sort of performs around about the level, I think they might just pip us. I think it'd be close. I think then I'm going to have us third. I'm going to have Saints come in the bottom on the basis that I think they're going to have to be carried a little bit. Them again, I think are sort of reliant on whether Michael Thomas is going to come back, stay healthy. He's not played for like 2 years. If he comes back and gives them an easy outlet every time with his slant runs, then they might do well. If he's unhealthy again and they're completely reliant on Kamara to carry them the whole way, I think they could struggle. Yeah. And then I think that the Panthers, Falcons, Saints are very close to each other in and around about those bottom 3 spots. And then Bucks, I don't think Bucks will be streaking ahead, but I think they'll have a little bit of a gap compared to the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to say the Panthers will surprise, maybe just take second away from us. Like Greg said, it's completely on the basis that Christian McCaffrey stays healthy for 17 games and does what he does.
Unmatchable. Well, on that note, I think we will call it a night. I think there's been enough hot takes and stuff that's going to get us bullied. So we'll draw the line there before the season even starts. Greg, thank you for coming on as always.
Appreciate it, guys.
Liam, you're a host now, so you don't get a thanks anymore. You just like we exist. Thank you for everyone that's watching live. Of course, it will be on our YouTube afterwards. So if you didn't catch it live and you're watching it behind schedule, that's no problem at all. Make sure you hit subscribe. We will be getting weekly shows out again, whether it's all of us, one of us, celebrity guests. And like I said, Miles couldn't quite make it today because he got called into interview the Falcons himself, so he prioritised them over us, which is really poor form, but each to their own. But yeah,
you can clip that one and send it to him, Liam.
I expect that being shown to the Falcons dressing room next week. But yeah, we'll make sure we have we try and get people like that are in and around the Falcons on again, like we did all last season, and a couple of ex-players and stuff like that when we get the opportunity. Obviously, schedules determine all of that, but we'll be all over it. We'll be all over it. Someone, and by someone I mean the American that's in the group right now, suggested that we maybe do a brief live just before the Saints game, which might be a shout if anyone's available. So if we are good for that, then I'll put it out there, and we'll try and get some followers on as well to drop their 1 minute takes just before we go into the game and try something new. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks lads for joining, and yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe. I don't know where it is on the screen on YouTube, but it's somewhere. It's somewhere about there. But yeah, thank you everyone.
I pointed at it at some point.
Yeah, we got it.
But yeah, thank you everyone, and we will catch you hopefully before the game against the Saints on Sunday.
Cheers everyone.
Thanks everyone.
See you later.
Bye. Be back.